Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be trying out an all-spell deck inside of Clash Royale as we climb our way up the leaderboard. Now, as you guys know, I don't do a lot of trophy pushing anymore. In fact, since challenges came out, I barely trophy push at all due to the cheating and all of the win trading at the top. It makes it completely pointless, but I thought today I would have a little bit of fun climbing up the leaderboard, bringing out an all-spell deck as we made our way back up. Now, of course, in the very beginning, I'm going to be playing players who are way lower level than me. In fact, this guy's a level 10, but using only spells should serve to be at least a little bit difficult. And the only cards I have that actually deploy some sort of troop would be the Goblin Barrel or the actually the Graveyard. Now, I have a Rocket to deal with the Mega Minion and the Royal Giant, but you can see this is how I have to defend against some of these pushes. I have to use Rockets, I have to use Poison spells, free spells, arrows. I have to use all these crazy cards to try to defend against people's pushes, and then utilize my Arena and my King Tower, or else things really won't work out too well. Now, of course, this deck uses one of my favorite combinations in the game that I've been showing you guys. It's the Graveyard plus the free spell. It's just so strong. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the Graveyard and the freeze. His Musketeer is going to be completely frozen, and now those skeletons are going to do work. He's going to throw out a laughing face because he knows this deck is absolutely ridiculous. Now, Poison Spell will go down. That should hurt the Barbarians and the Musketeer. I'm still not sure that it's going to be able to do enough, though. And I'm a little bit worried about him having a Royal Giant, but instead he has the Miner. So let's use, I can use either our Zap Spell or our Goblin Barrel. I'm just going to use my Zap to kill everything as soon as it gets close enough. And then it looks like we should be able to take out that Mega Minion. And we've got a pretty decent lead in the game. In fact, our Rocket does 717 damage. That's already enough to crush that left-hand tower. And we can go ahead and hang out in Goblin Barrel the right-hand side of the map. So let's go ahead and mirror Goblin Barrel that right-hand tower and see what he has to respond. Now, free spell is going down. He has a fireball, though. Didn't know he had that, or else that would have just been the most ridiculous push ever. Now, the Princess. How do I deal with the Princess? I have arrows. I can use the arrows on the Princess, but instead, I need to save up Elixir to deal with this Royal Giant. So let's use our Graveyard on defense by attacking this Royal Giant right here. I've got the Zap spell to kill the Princess. Of course, she's level 1, so she's going to get zapped out. Our tower is down to 751, which is going to make it pretty difficult to keep alive. He's got the Miner. He's got the Mega Minion. I've got the Goblin Barrel on defense right here, which is ridiculous. The Rocket's going to go down on that left-hand side, and with 44 seconds left, we're going to have to defend this left-hand tower. However, I don't think it's really going to matter. He has the Royal Giant right here, so why don't we just go ahead and focus on the right-hand side, arrow down the Princess and the Mega Minion, of course. But now we can go towards the right, and let's go ahead and get our Graveyard freeze going on. All right, Graveyard's going down. Free spell's going down. We've got a Goblin Barrel. We'll play on defense onto that Royal Giant. Looks like all the skeletons are attacking absolutely everything but the Arena Tower right there. So I'm going to drop this Rocket and check out the timing. The Rocket's going to take out the Barbarians perfectly, every single one of them right there. The Musketeer is going to help out alongside the tower, killing my goblins from the Goblin Barrel. And look at the damage we have. We can just mirror the Rocket and throw our arrows at the tower, and that's going to be plenty enough to take that out and give us the second crown, as well as grab us a victory. So even though we were playing a level 10, still a close battle in the end, pulling out a 2-crown-to-1 victory. 21 trophies for the W right there. And all spells is a little bit difficult. In fact, I'm not even going for the King Tower first. A lot of people just go for the King Tower right off the bat, but I thought I would play it a little bit easy and go for the Arena Towers in the very beginning. Let's go ahead and start off right now. I don't even know what to play, and this guy's not really helping me out, so I'm going to play the Poison spell onto the Tombstone. And yeah, I don't want to just drop a Rocket straight up. I don't want to drop the Graveyard without the free spell as well. So let's go ahead and hang out. There goes a Giant. And you know what? Let's go for a Graveyard Goblin Barrel push. Why not just throw them both at once? He's got his minions right here. I'm going to zap those down, but he has the Log, which is just the perfect counter to our deck. That Log was so good at killing the skeletons and the goblins, and now we have to defend against a Rocket or a Giant, and look at my hand. I have a Zap spell, a Rocket, a freeze. What do I even have right here? I'm going to Rocket the Archers and the Mega Minion. I'm not going to be able to hit the Giant. I'm just going to have to let this Giant beat down on my tower. He even has a Rage spell. That Rage Giant is just going to slap my tower back and forth. That poor Princess on the top is just getting punched to death. And still, we're going to be able to kill the Giant before the tower goes down, but it's going to do a ton of damage. It's actually going to take it down 2,500 HP all the way down to 1,027. And seeing as I have nothing to play, I just have to mirror this Rocket or play the Poison. I'm just going to play the Rocket, since it does do such a great amount of damage. And in fact, that left-hand tower is only 2 Rockets from being down. So I got to keep that in mind. 2 Rockets will kill that tower. I can use the Rocket in the mirror towards the end of the battle. Here goes a Giant again. And after playing this graveyard spell, take a look at what a fail this was. Some of the skeletons are going to the left, only a couple of them are going to the right. That means the giant, the mega minion, the rage spell, everything's going to be beating down this tower. He's going to take the very first tower of the game against a level 10 right here. And this one's not looking so hot. So let's go ahead and get ready to see what we can do to even this game up. I've got the rocket coming up next. I've got the goblin barrel in my hand. Just depends on what I want to play. So maybe we'll throw our goblin barrel on one side and the rocket on the other. But we do need to take out this left-hand tower. So let's just throw the goblin barrel right now. And there goes the tombstone. We've got a rocket in our hand again. Let's play it right now. And since we've got the rocket mirrored up, I could play it on the left-hand tower, but I don't want to get too greedy. But I don't even know what else I can do. I guess I can freeze everything right here and play my graveyard spell. Not really my favorite play to make. I've got arrows as well. Poison. Look at this poison. It's not even going to clip everything I wanted it to clip. It's not going to get the archers. I have to throw my arrows. I'm just trying to defend this tower the best that I can before we get into overtime. I'm even going to throw a goblin barrel down, which should be enough to destroy that giant. And then now we can rocket down that left-hand tower finally. I finally think that the elixir is finally in our advantage. I said finally a billion times, so why not one more time? Goblin barrel on the right. We've got the graveyard as well. I don't want to, the reason I'm doing this before I take out that left-hand tower is because I want to try to damage the tower without the king tower being active. So that's why I'm playing all my stuff on that right-hand side, because I don't want to activate the king tower before I have to. If that king tower was activated, it would have helped against all those skeletons on the right. So now that the rocket's been deployed, check out that tower. It's all the way down to like 1,000 HP. I'm not even going to care about his push right here. I guess I'm going to have to arrow it at some point, so let's go ahead and do that right now. But the tower's down to 598, which means we only need the rocket to end this game. Checking out what I can do. I can just use my zap and cycle to my rocket as soon as possible, and that will wrap up a 1 crown comeback. And we're going to pick up a win using this ridiculous all-spell deck. So a little bit closer than what you would have wanted for a game like this, but still we were able to pull it out 2-1 right there. 30 trophies are our spoils for the victory, and a 20 gold to go alongside it. That 20 gold, you know, we only have 100,000 gold we need for a lot of our upgrades, but 20 at a time, we're going to make our way there. Let's go and goblin barrel it up. 1 goblin barrel on the left, 1 goblin barrel on the right. One of my favorite strategies in Clash Royale. In fact, we got the free spell to help out with this other tower. Take a look as this tower goes down pretty low. It's going to go to 1,400, 900, 600, 400, all the way down to 476. Very first push of the game, 11 elixir takes this tower solo, and this has to be one of the worst feelings. Zap spell killing a minion horde. I don't know if there's a worse feeling inside of Clash Royale, but unfortunately, by Mackie HD just found out right there. His tower is so low on the right-hand side. Again, we don't want to activate the king tower until we have to. Let's go and see if we can graveyard that left-hand side and do as much work as possible, or we can just rocket it. And as that musketeer is on the other side, I'm just going to poison her out and to start taking that tower down to 0. So things are looking really good in this battle so far. The king tower isn't activated. Everything's looking sweet. He's got the goblin barrel going down. I'm just going to arrow down everything as far as his support cards go, as his goblins stab my tower down to 1,700. But still, things are really good. I'm going to keep focusing on that left-hand tower until the very end of the game. Maybe we can get a 3 crown sometime soon. And as he drops his skeleton army, we actually have the perfect deck to deal with this. We've got mirrored arrows right there. We've got a goblin barrel going down again. His miner's doing work, but really not too much. Zapping is on top. Well, actually, we don't even need to zap that musketeer. We can take the tower right there, and things are looking really, really good. Now, I do want to do a graveyard. Maybe I could even do a mirrored graveyard. That would probably be pretty ridiculous. He's got a goblin barrel going down. I'm going to stop that in its tracks. I've got my graveyard spell. I don't have the mirror just yet, which is a little bit annoying, but instead, as I've got the graveyard queued up, I could just poison both of the towers and take that right one out. So let's go and do that right now and save up for that mirrored graveyard push, which hopefully will be enough to end this game. All right, so graveyard's in my hand. We're about to hit double elixir. Here's my favorite push in the game, guys. Graveyard goes down. Second graveyard goes down. My free spell is getting there. He's just going on an offensive push right now. Look at all of those skeletons. Free spell going down as well. The skeletons are beating those towers to a pulp, beating the skeletons. Look at all of those skellies having a little campfire around the dead little king tower right there, and that's going to be a 3 crown victory using that mirrored graveyard, which is just such a fun combination inside of this all spell deck. There's only so many ways you can make the all spell deck work. Mirrored graveyard is definitely one of them, and let's hop into one more battle against Odie's son. And he's going to throw some fire spirits, and he's going to be a little bit disappointed when none of those fire spirits actually end up hitting the tower right now. Now we're going to play the graveyard again. We've got the goblin barrel again. We've got the zap spell to kill the minions. And look at that musketeer. The musketeer is going to do her best, but with the very first push of the game, we're going to take the tower. This is such a stupid deck, and it's so much fun to play. And finally, he has the Valkyrie that he's been looking for. But 30 seconds into the battle, he's already lost his first tower. That has to be Just so annoying. I feel like that's the quickest tower I've ever seen go down inside of a battle. But anyways, we've got a rocket. Let's go and throw that naked onto the tower right there. Valkyrie's going to take a couple of swings at our arena tower, but not be able to do too much. Really awesome start to the game, and in fact we might have to play a mirrored rocket, but instead he's got his hog rider, so let's go ahead and poison everything down and try to save a tower as much as possible. This is all for fun, so win or lose, he can take my tower, he can do whatever. I just want to get some dirty mirrored graveyards down, and we can actually get ready for a graveyard spell right now by playing it in between the towers alongside our free spell. So there goes the free spell, there goes the graveyard spell, but the Valkyrie, I forgot about the Valkyrie. He's got one of the best counters to the graveyard in the game with the Valkyrie. She's just going to keep spinning and destroying everything that spawns up. And with his hog rider right here, I'm going to Goblin Barrel down to try to save as much HP as possible on the tower as he gets his zap spell off. And with 517 left, we're going to have to see what we can do on that left-hand tower, because that right-hand tower is as good as gone. And we need to make sure we don't let that Valkyrie keep cleaning up our graveyard pushes. Alright, so right now we got a minute and 20. I've got the rocket, I've got the mirror. He's got a miner and some fire spirits right there. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm going to let him do his thing right there. Let's drop our rocket on that left-hand tower. That tower is going to keep dropping lower and lower. We've got the mirror, so maybe we'll play another card and we can rocket that as well. Just rocketing over and over again has to be one of the weirdest and funnest things inside of Clash Royale. But as he goes for a push, let's play another rocket. The mirrored rocket's going to go down and just miss out on that musketeer. So we're going to poison her down as well. We're just getting so much direct damage off against these towers right now that he has to go for a big push. He's got the Valkyrie. He's got a 1 HP musketeer right there. I'm going to freeze everything in its tracks except for the Valkyrie, and that Goblin Barrel is actually not going to be the greatest. But the goblins are going to survive just long enough to stab away at the hog rider. And even with all of that, he's still going to take the tower down pretty decently low, so we're going to have to see what we can do, probably by zapping and arrowing on both those towers. But here goes another push. All right, I'm going to graveyard. I'm going to play my poison spell while he goes for a big push to try to take out that second tower. Tower for tower right now. We're trading towers. We're trading everything. I'm going to arrow down his push just so those minions don't do work. The tower's down to 1300 HP, and this means we're going to have one final hoorah to end the game. You guys know how this one's going to end. We've got the rocket. We've got the mirror. Rocket in your pocket, or is he just happy to see this game be over? Let's drop that second rocket onto the tower, and as the buzzer sounds off, we're just going to be a couple seconds late on the buzzer, but it still counts inside of Clash Royale, and that's going to give us the 3-crown victory right there. So nice stuff. 31 trophies using the all-spell deck. Guys, sometimes you have to have some fun inside of Clash Royale. During these resets, you have to play these lower level players, so why not use some spells and have some fun doing it? 3 crowns to 2 against Odie-sun, and that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smack that like button. If there's any other combinations you guys want to see me play, let me know in the comment section below. Of course, I will be trying out that new heart feature and trying to heart as many as I can. That's going to do it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.